Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. I'm so happy to be here today with two incredible, not only creators, but team leaders on Twitch. They both have incredible stream teams that have incredible fundraising efforts. I'm so happy to highlight them and talk about getting your stream teams involved in fundraising, especially on Tiltify. So, if you don't know me, I am Ashley. I am the community manager of Tiltify. I'm so happy to say that every time. Just brightens my world. But I also have Libby and we have MiladyConfetti. So let's start with some introductions. Talk a little bit about yourself and then introduce Team Kitty. Libby.
Okay. Hi, my name's Libby. Online, I go by Askesienne. Very much appreciate that no one can pronounce it. I'm just Libby. It's fine. Uh, but it's nice to meet you all here in the Tiltify chat. So I've been streaming since 2014. Started streaming for charity. I was like, I'm wasting all this time playing games anyway. Might as well try to do something good. So I actually started streaming because I realized that you could stream for charity. And over the course of history, I've come to manage Team Kitty, which is a women's broadcaster team around for collaboration, support, networking, finding sponsorships for women aligned broadcasters. Super, super proud of the work we do. We have about 60 members on the team right now. When it comes to charity, we actually just passed the $250,000 mark on Tiltify as a team across various causes. So I'm super proud of everybody on the team. But what I do is I kind of manage the day-to-day of the team as well as help create our charity programs.
Thank you so much, Libby. And I am also a part of Team Kitty, me and Milady. So thank you for all you do. We love the team. You're doing great things.
I
You
love you
work so
back.
hard. And Milady, of course, y'all know Milady Confetti, but we're going to do another introduction and we're going to talk about Sisters of the Fog.
Yes, I am MiladyConfetti. I am a fog whisperer with behavior. I stream a lot of DVD, do a lot of horror stuff, a lot of dystopian content as well. I founded Sisters of the Fog last year. It is a stream community for those who have the similar interests at Dead by Daylight, the horror dystopian type of scene. We are exclusively for Black women, femmes, and non-binary folks. And yeah, that's one thing that we like to focus on. We have a huge charity component that is very important to us. We really try to focus on, uplifting Black communities and Black charities where things are needed. And yeah, that is one thing where we have a lot of things going on. We do, stream team things. We also have our own podcast and along with the charity component.
Thank you so much. And I'm also a part of Sisters of the Fog.
You
Incredible
are.
group. I am.
We're all
I
like intersecting.
I'm
listen.
just a big fan and I love everything that the Fog do. So I'm a follower. So we're all we're all intertwined in that way. I think it's awesome what you've put together. Confetti for sure.
And the cool
Thank
thing
you.
about Team Kitty is that Team Kitty uplifts other teams across the board. And I think that's so lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And Team Kitty, they take the time to definitely support women in a space. And that's across all different kinds of groups. And Libby, thank you. Seriously, you're doing a great job. I just want to let you know. And yeah,
Thanks.
Team Kitty has inspired so many other teams, and Kitty Plays started it all years ago and it's still going strong. So I know she's not here, but much love to Kitty Plays.
Yes.
She is a queen. So thank you so much for the little introduction. And Libby, I know you didn't start Team Kitty, but I know Team Kitty means a lot to you. Um, what does Team Kitty mean to you? And why are you managing it still to this day? Or what inspires you?
Yeah. So actually that's a great way of putting it, right? Like I didn't found Team Kitty. It was founded by Kitty Plays, as the name may suggest. And when it first started, it was kind of Kristen Kitty's way to unite some, female broadcasters. Didn't, you know, turn into much until it turned into, I want to make sure that we're mentoring other people, right? At the time, the community of women aligned streamers was so kind of like you were this unicorn, this not that we're not still rare, but that it was truly like you are the one on the entire directory. And rather than lean into the idea of competing with each other, let's unite, let's create something bigger. I started working with Kristen in 2015. The team was founded in 2014. We've been business partners since 2015. And I went from working with her channel and kind of her back end business content to, hey, I've got this network of people, I've got this idea. I don't have a lot of time to kind of one to one create it, but I want this to grow into something that is a foundation for women, for femmes, for non-binary folks, for the unicorns, for the
Yeah.
folks who are on the edges when it comes to streaming. Um, and how can we do that? And I'm super passionate about that as well. I think it's really important to show the world that there are many different types of streamers. There are many different types of stories to tell. Um, and at the time, it was a cool way to kind of, flex my master's degree in business and marketing and all that kind of stuff. I was like, oh, this is fun. I love this. Um, I'm here because I still love it. I think my favorite thing about the team is just that we are there for each other and to celebrate alongside each other, right? There's so much discourse online about, hey, like celebrate your friends when they do something amazing. And that's the environment I try to stick with when someone new on the team reaches a crazy milestone or we welcome somebody new in. Just kind of bringing that enthusiasm and that love for each other and being there for each other as people and as creators. That's why I'm still here. I just like that stuff.
Yes, and you're doing a great job. Like I said, we love you. The entire team loves you. So thank you for all you do. If you don't
I'm
hear
gonna
that a lot, but
curl
you're going
up
to
into
hear it
my
today.
chair.
Roll up. Go ahead. It's okay. I remember when Milady joined, I was like, oh my God, Milady. And we went crazy on the Discord. Like, Milady is
I
an
was I was
icon.
surprised when I got my email because I hadn't heard anything for like over a year. So I was like, okay. Like I literally like forgot about it. I was like, okay, they don't want me. So and then I
Nah.
got the email and I was like, oh my God, wait.
I appreciate being called out for being terrible at trying. No, I'm kidding. We definitely paused for a little bit because we were trying to evaluate like how can we create a really strong team and make sure that everybody that's there is awesome. And then we were going back through, and it's not just me and Kristen, by the way. There's an awesome community council of team members who choose to lead, do social, do charity, do all sorts of things. And we went through, we reviewed, and we had this huge backlog, like you said. And we saw you, MiladyConfetti, and we were like, yes, her. And my email was not the like, welcome to Team Kitty. It was literally, I'm so embarrassed that we haven't emailed you. Do you still want to hang out with us?
Yeah. Kind of when the email came off, I was like, yeah.
I was like, are we still okay? Do you hate us now?
Not hate.
It was good times, but we're very glad that you said we were still okay.
I'm pretty sure whenever someone sees MiladyConfetti in whatever group, they're like, yes, 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 yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. 100%.
You know, that
Not
TikTok,
always.
you know, money, take my money.
This is excellence right there. And
Yes.
we love MiladyConfetti.
Yes, we do love MiladyConfetti. And we're going to shoot it over to her. And she just created Sisters of the Fog after getting partnered on Twitch a couple months ago. And I want you to talk about why you created Sisters of the Fog and what does it mean?
Yeah. So last summer, we, as going through a global pandemic, a lot of us in, our various communities were really forced to look at the horrors that this country is, but not noted, but like, no, not just, in the aspect of, overt police violence and horrible racial crimes that happen against black people in the United States and honestly in the world, but also how a lot of things are touched by racism, and the gaming community is not an exception to that. When you look around and you see a lot of what is represented in the gaming community, it's cis white men all the time, and that even goes for the Dead by Daylight community. Often who are put on the forefront are well, at the time were white men, and then occasionally a white woman, and it's like, hey, there are more people in this community that could represent this. And this was a conversation I had with them in person, saying, hey, like, I'm mainly talking about the partner program, where, there was a serious lack of diversity and what was up with that. But it wasn't just like because people really think like when it comes to video games, when it comes to narratives, when it comes to stories, when it comes to who's hired, when it comes to, things that are put out on social media, that bias doesn't influence that. And when Behavior had made the statement, talking about the racial crimes that were happening in Canada at the same time as things with Breonna Taylor and George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery, um, I was like, well, what are you going to practice what you preach in your daily life? And that's where Sisters of the Fog kind of came up, where me and the sister Karen, that's just her name. It just happens to be also be sister. um, had our first podcast, and we just aired out a lot of issues that we were having in the community, whether, things that we see from a consumer end, from a player end, from, being black women in the space, and how horrendous, we're treated, and how often we feel ignored. And it's a shame that it would take a global tragedy to bring these things to light. So from then on, it wasn't just a podcast. We were like, just like, this should be a community. So, I took the necessary steps to make that a thing. And also, I wanted to have like a charity component. So, I just created kind of the structure of what I wanted things to be like. I got a leadership team, and we just went ahead and did it. And it's kind of like the old motto, like, like black women are just like, F it, I'll do it. That's pretty much where my mindset was. I was like, okay, I'll do it.
Literally.
I'll be the angry person that, quote tweets you and say, you need to step up. Or I'll get on a phone call with you and say, you need to step up. So much so that I've been dubbed the fog screamer. So I'm not just a fog whisperer with Behavior. I'm also a fog screamer given by Matt, who is the game manager of Dead by Daylight.
Oh my
That's
god, can
great.
we change it to fog screamer? Can we have fog whispers and fog screamers, please?
Well,
DVD.
I'm the only fog screamer, so I'm gonna wear my little pin proud.
It's an exclusive
Wait,
title. You
it's an
should.
actual pen you have?
No, he just said that in an interview.
Oh,
That
well,
I
you need
was
a
in
pen.
with him.
You need a
I
pen. You need
I
a
will
shirt.
ask him.
Yes. Who do I need to talk to? Because that's so you. I love it.
Makote.
Thank you both for sharing, why you're a part of your amazing community, why you lead. And Milady, I know you dived into saying you have a leadership team to help you, which is incredible. You need that. How did you come up with your leadership team?
Um, I think it's honestly like from my higher ed background, and also just knowing how to like run a team. I know that even though sometimes I think that, I'm Supergirl and I can do everything, I cannot. So understanding what is needed to have a team, and also knowing other people's strengths, and where other people may fall short, and where we can intersect and make up for one another. So like, one thing, I suck at social media. That's something that it's not like a strength of mine. Like, I can't be like quippy and stuff like that. Like, that's what I think of when it comes to social media personality, but it's also like a timing thing, because I run my own social media, like all 60,000 of them. So like, when I'm trying to do my own, like, it's just like one more thing. So it's like, okay, I need somebody who can run social media exclusively, somebody who has a quick turnaround for clips, somebody who is an artist. I can draw you a mean stick figure, let me tell you. But like, that's not a strength of mine. So, somebody who can focus on that. And yeah, that's pretty much, it was a balancing act. Um, and also getting to know people more in the community as we had more team members come on, and see like, okay, what can we do to pick a team and have things work. And honestly, it's been such a area of relief, where so many people are focusing on, different aspects of what they need to do, that I can focus on bigger projects and, bigger things to bring more activations into Sisters of the Fog. That's not just charity, but also other things.
Wow.
I just want to say I love hearing that because I'm sorry.
Mhm. No,
Sorry.
you're fine.
Um,
No.
we did the same thing on Team Kitty with the community council, because at a certain point it was just me and Kitty, and then there's a limit. Every human has a limit of what they can do. The other thing that I think is so important that you touched on is about bringing their strengths forward. We have the same thing, right? Which members of the team are interested in spending extra time, are, you know, super psyched about a particular thing, really interested in a particular thing. So whether it's something internal to the team or like we had a council member say, I really want to learn how to pitch to brands and create those activations. Okay, well, let's do it together. And over time became sort of like the brand partnerships manager for the team. And it's an awesome way as well in the content creation space to be able to develop and nurture skills within your teammates, because it's essentially a volunteer job opportunity. I mean, I wish we could just like pay them out for everything that they do, but it's experience that you can get. And I think sometimes this is way off topic, but I think a lot of content creators don't realize that what they do is really valuable job experience.
Yes.
Um, and so having a like that council leadership team, whatever the term is, one, nobody can do anything alone, and two, that's another opportunity you're affording team members. And I think it's so important, and I'm really glad that you have one too, because
Yeah.
I think it makes such a difference.
Yeah. And one thing I really like try to stress, when I can, also for people's, work when it comes to art, when it comes to their time, when it comes to editing videos, when I can, I really try to pay my leadership team, because you pay people for their time, especially pay Black women their worth. I am team all of that, and I will practice what I preach. I can't do it all the time because, I have bills to pay and it comes from my personal money. But, when I can, I definitely try to do that, because that's important and that's people's labor. I know we all come together just, for, the bigger of, our communities and giving back. But um ultimately, like, I still want to, give people compensation for their time too.
Of course. Exactly. Yeah. If I had unlimited dollars, it would be unlimited for them as well. But like there comes a point where like let's create something for those people, because working for free is not the move for anybody. So
No.
Not at all. And, it took me years to figure out, maybe I should monetize my content. I think it's time to do that.
Yes.
And it
wild idea.
right? And you don't really need to base it off of your size as a creator. I just want to stress that because your time is still valuable regardless of your
Absolutely.
audience. And that's so important. If you are listening and you did not know that before I said that, now you know, okay?
Hmm.
If people are reaching out to you, hey, can I get compensated for my time with something, please? Something.
Yeah.
This needs to be something. And, that really brings more value to you and your content.
Yeah.
So, what I've noticed with the both of you, you both have higher education. So,
Yeah.
Libby,
I peep that. Yeah.
yeah, Libby, did I hear a master's in business? Can you
Yeah.
talk a little bit
So
more about your education? Because I'm sure it ties into your
sure.
leadership.
It does. It doesn't entirely. I started university as a mechanical engineering student because I did competition robotics in high school.
Love that.
In case gaming didn't make me nerdy enough, I still coach at the high school level. But my bachelor's degree is communications and media with an engineering minor, and then my master's is what's called marketing for technology. So it's like 60% MBA, 40% marketing masters, which is very interesting. A lot of sort of organizational structure, the people management and budget management sides of an MBA with sort of like a core marketing education as well. It's definitely ended up well for me professionally, even though I stumbled into gaming and content creation. The skills are all the same, even if it's a different type of technology that's being sold. So I'm super grateful for it. It's definitely helped a lot with leadership. Not that you have to have a master's
Yeah.
degree or higher
Yeah,
Yeah.
education to
Not
no.
at
lead,
all. Yeah.
No.
but it is an interesting set of things that inform that leadership, and I'm sure it's the same for you, Milady.
Yeah. I so my undergrad is in writing, minor in psychology, women and gender studies, and ethics studies. Concentration in philosophy. I was just added that on there because why not? Because the
Own it,
ethics,
yeah.
the ethics things, they just kind of they overlap. That's literally what it was. My exit thesis was on anime, the anime psychopaths. Like that's where my structure came from.
That's
Um,
amazing.
yeah, they had no idea what I was talking about, and I was like, "This is great." My master's degree is in higher education administration, and then with a focus in counseling. But the thing is, with the higher ed program, particularly where I went in my institution, a lot of things overlap in with counseling, higher education, and also the MBA program that was at my university. So it's like they want you to be a well-rounded individual when you leave the program, because I just it's really not a secret that like colleges are a business and you need to know how to operate those things. You need to know how to operate a budget. You're not going to learn that in some theory class about higher education and how, higher ed used to just be, white male Christian people who could afford to go at the time, and gatekeep everybody else out. That's not going to teach you how to run a budget. Like, it's not.
True.
So I mean, that's just the
It
tea. If you
didn't.
didn't know about that higher education, surprise. So yeah, I think there's a lot of transferable skills. I think with me as a content creator and somebody who builds community, I think a lot of my transferable skills not necessarily always came from my degree, but I think came from the work that I did because from graduating from higher ed, I worked in Greek affairs, or fraternity and sorority life. And then, I worked in orientation and then I worked in residence life full time for a while. So a lot of those things all those things are based in some form of community, but each of those communities have different requirements. So I think when it comes to like team building, for example, those skills really were nurtured and developed, but also, the flexibility of knowing what each community needs and treating that in a very particular way. So, like my personal community's needs as Milady Confetti, their needs are different from Sisters of the Fog. It's going to be different from, working with Team Nani. It's going to be different from working with Noir. You know what I mean? So, which is also another stream team that I'm on, as are you, Ash. So, um, so I think that's where a lot of my skill sets come in, and I just transfer that into, the content creation digital space. That makes sense.
Oh no, that makes sense. And
Yeah.
you put it all out there, right in order. Thank you. And you're just so intelligent. Ah, I
I
love
read
it.
a lot.
Yes, that's something I don't do. I don't read.
Behind these skateboards are a bunch of things, and then after this podcast, I'm going to the bookstore. So
Oh my gosh.
That's the best weekend plans. Is like a solid bookstore trip.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and then
Sure.
after I'm watching Twilight because I'm just trash. So
Team Edward, correct?
period.
Oh my goodness. So we need another chat about books and our favorite books. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, we should
Yeah.
bring on that nerd Violet
Ooh.
and
Book club?
Lucille
Ooh. Ooh.
Streamer book club?
Yes.
I'm
The
in.
book club.
Let's
Let's do it. And we have
Oh, good.
Chris
Another
in chat
community to join.
saying Team Alice. Ooh, I can get with that too. I can do Team Alice as well.
I'm gonna let that slide
Uh-oh.
because that's not what this topic is about.
All
Adam's in
right.
control here. We could change topics
We-
at any point.
We can change. Okay, now let's go back to what we're talking about today, okay? So let's start with Libby. So, do you remember Team Kitty's first fundraiser and how did you organize the event?
So the first fundraiser we ever did as a team, solely as the team,
Mhm.
I believe was Play Live in St. Jude Play Live in 2017. Before that, we had done we'd done one for the National Breast Cancer Foundation, coordinated by other streamers that were then sort of like, hey, does anyone on Team Kitty want to do this? Right. I think that the first time we really kind of put a team campaign together was Play Live in 2017. And we've definitely learned a lot on how to run team campaigns since then, but I have to go back and look. I remember it going well. I think we every time we do campaigns, sometimes it's a small handful, sometimes it's a big chunk of the team. It's kind of variant with us, but our first one was St. Jude Play Live 17. If I had to check, maybe I will go check.
Yeah, that's literally what I'm doing now. I'm like, which one was our first one?
You're checking your Tiltify page. I see you.
I had to think because we do a lot. I was like, what have we done?
Now I'm nervous. Maybe I'm wrong. It was definitely set 2017.
I'm pretty
Or, like-
sure that sounds right. From my
Yes.
knowledge, that sounds right.
Just scroll all the way back in our charity channel on Discord and see what the first one was.
Oh my gosh.
Or you can go to your
But
Tiltify page as well.
I'm on it right now, and the
Yeah, that's right.
earliest one for Team Kitty was Play Live 2017. I got it right.
Perfect. I knew you were right. That felt right. It sounded right. So I thought you were on the right page. So yeah, I know it has changed a lot, especially with the Tiltify platform and the dashboard completely changing too. And we have so
Oh
many
yeah.
more new features now that make it easier. And oh, I love our new dashboard, and it's just getting better and better. But Libby, how was it? How did you feel doing that first charity event? What did it mean to you? You know, like,
Yeah,
hey, I can
so
lead this team and do something good with a group of people.
yeah, definitely exhilarating. I think one of the things that we've done over time as well is think about not only what are we doing for the campaign, but how are we promoting each of the streamers that are doing it. Are we getting any sponsors involved in giveaways or incentives, anything like that? Um, the that one I remember being so inspired by the fact that there were other people doing that content alongside, like whoever was on it, right? There were probably 10 or so creators that were on that original stream, and some who were much more established streamers, some who were still growing and understand who had done were doing their first charity stream. But just this idea of like, hey, we're all doing this together, and like I have your back, and if you don't know how to do something, you know, I'll help you, or you can help me because I don't know how you do what you do. um the idea of, rather than kind of going it alone, having like a squad with you was very comforting and very motivating for sure, to be able to kind of feel like it was part of something bigger. Like you feel like that with any
Yeah.
charity stream because you're helping a charity in the
Yeah.
community, but like the idea that you have all your buddies with you is even better.
Yeah.
And I'll throw that same question to you, milady. This is the Fog.
So our first charity stream, which I'm looking at, was actually for the Innocence Project. So this was, like I said, summertime last year, when a lot more protesting and people were learning how to protest and learning their rights. Um, when it comes to protesting, which is something you need to research, especially in the particular area that you're in before you go to any protest at all, especially if there's going to be or you foresee police presence being there. But that's my little sidebar about that. So with the Innocence Project, what they do for people who are incarcerated, they relook at your cases. Typically, people who are on death row. Or just people who they feel they haven't gotten their fair shot. They relook at cases and they work pro bono. And they try to get people who they honestly believe to be innocent um, to get their charges rescinded, to get their sentence rescinded. Um, so that was one thing that I was really passionate about, because I know like prison reform is not a topic that a lot of people like to talk about, especially in the midst of a global pandemic. You kind of saw how cold-hearted people could be to people who are in prison, as if they're not human beings who are also suffering from the global pandemic, and don't feel like they just shouldn't be treated with humanity just because they're in the situation that they're in. So I like the Innocence Project. They also have a documentary on Netflix. If you're not familiar with all they do, you can also go to their website and see all of the work that they do. But that's who we were raising money for. We didn't have any sponsors or anything for that. I think it was about 6 of us who were raising money together, and that campaign, in total, between everybody, had $1,200, which I was like, okay, that's fine. Like, because you still raise money to help go to somebody's fees, because what lawyers do and the investigations, like if you saw all the work that they do of what they could show on the Netflix special, um it's a lot. And unfortunately, trying these cases are expensive. So if we could help in any kind of way, I wanted to be able to do that. So we did the Innocence Project. That was the first one.
Wow. Ooh, I remember that too.
Yeah, I think you were on that, weren't you?
I believe so. I don't, girl, I do so many. I can't keep up.
They all blend together at some point. It's like, we've done lots.
Yeah,
Well, that's why I had
yeah,
to look. I was like, "Ooh, I'm not was it Color for Change or
yeah.
I wasn't sure, so I had to look."
Totally okay. And, last year was definitely an experience, especially as a Black creator in a space. And, that's a whole different topic
Yeah.
for another chat. But y'all know. If you know, you know. I know you know. But thank you, Milady, for, organizing that event and bringing together Sisters of the Fog to do that. Because, many people, they couldn't go out to protest because it was a pandemic. So,
Yeah.
we stayed home and we used our platform to help in some kind of way. And every dollar that you raised, they didn't have yesterday. So,
Yep.
$1,200, incredible job because you're helping somebody, baby. You are helping somebody. So,
We're
thank you for
trying.
you're doing it. And the work never stops, y'all. So,
Ever.
there's so many causes you can support on Tiltify. We have over 3,000 causes. I didn't even know that until this week. I said, whoa.
Yeah.
So, whatever you're looking to support, I'm sure it's on Tiltify. So many different organizations or so many different. So, make sure you
And
do
if it's
check
not,
it
they can
out.
sign up
Yeah.
because I just got a nonprofit that my family's worked with for almost my entire life to sign up on Tiltify like last week.
There you
And they're
go.
like, we didn't know this existed. And I was like, do it.
Do it, do
Yeah.
it,
And
do
I can
it.
stream for you,
I'm
damn
trying
it.
to get a local org to sign up and they're just like, "Wait, how does technology work?" I'm like, "Oh my god."
Mhm. You're definitely going to
Okay.
run into that every single time. They're going to be
Yeah.
confused. You got to have a whole PowerPoint slide. Hey, this is Twitch. This is YouTube. This is how creators come together with their communities and they do good. Join now. No questions asked. Join now.
Just do it.
Yes. And I hope we bring more and more grassroots everything Spotify. So we are working on it. And again, if there's a cause you want, add them to it. Go to the homepage, go to causes, make them sign up. Boom. And it'll be connected with a charity success manager, everything.
Love that.
Love it. Love it. Our team is amazing and it's growing more and more. And I love it. I'm just so happy. So, let's talk more about fundraising with teams and let's go to you, Libby, for our next question. What influenced you to do these charities with the team mainly?
Ooh, so when we pick organizations, there's a couple different ways that we'll start a team campaign. Sometimes there will be a team member who says, "Hey, I really want to do a fundraiser for this. Can we do it as a team? Can we make a team page and then I can sign up?" Actually, Ash did that for Black Girls Code as well. We've had other folks say, like, "This is important to me." Sometimes there'll be a large campaign, for example, St. Jude Play Live, where if streamers want to do it, anyone can sign up, but it's specific around an event. So we'll try to support events like that. We did Tiltify's Unified for Pride as well last month. Um, Really, it can come down to any number of reasons. Just either someone with a spark to fundraise that wants to get their teammates involved, or that we are taking part in something larger. As far as to get the team together, I think everyone's more motivated when they've got a friend with them. So it's
Yeah,
it's nice to be able to say this is something that we do. It's important to the team that, or to me, the team, to the team leadership, to all of us on the team, to be able to give back. It's something we look for. So we try to make sure we're doing a campaign as a team at least once a quarter. Right now, it's looking a lot more like once a month, but it's another way that we can do something as an organization that amplifies creators, does something good, gives people some experience in doing something new, and it's worth it. It's worth all the time.
it's and that was how I did my first fundraiser. I felt so motivated. So joining, you know, team fundraising efforts really does motivate you. So if you are a creator out there and you're hesitant on joining your team's fundraising efforts, it will definitely motivate you. And it always feels better doing good with a big group that you adore. And you're all there for the same reason. And it's
Yeah.
fundraise for that cause and support them and use your community to do better. And that's always a good thing to do, especially with Tiltify, because it's easy, 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 easy. Sign up in a couple minutes and create your campaign. So I'm all about doing good with your platform when you can, of course, when you can. I want to stress that. You don't always have to fundraise. You can hit a period where you feel overwhelmed or you're burnt out of fundraising.
Yeah.
So make sure you are keeping yourself in check, mental health. Take a break for yourself because you can't pour from an empty cup. You hear that a lot, but it's true. So keep that in mind as well. I need to keep that in mind because I do a lot, but I enjoy it so much.
Yeah. I definitely felt that this year.
Yeah, you're like, okay, okay, let
Yeah.
me relax. So thank you so much for that, Libby. And Milady, you basically already answered that already earlier with the question. So we'll move on to our next topic. So, what were some of your favorite moments fundraising with your team? We'll go with Milady for this.
Um, there's so many. Because the thing is, like with the Dead by Daylight charity stream, I really think its origins are in like the kind of Twitch rivals esque type of scene. We
Yeah.
just took out the paying the people who win,
Mm-hmm.
because who has that kind of money,
Mm-hmm.
to making it a charity aspect. So we're all together having fun. So why not when we're together make it, for a good cause. My favorite moments, I think, is when, we had our first wave of applications come through. And we were putting together everything for the Black History Month tournament, and just how strong just the community just came together to raise what was that, over $8,000 for Black Girls Code. We did that in a matter of a week, with the most of it coming on the day of like the actual tournament itself. But you get to showcase your skills, but also you get to have fun, and you get to raise money for a great cause. So I think that was like a really just touching moment, just to see how everybody just came together to support this amazing cause. And I say that like it doesn't sound like much, but I like, if you kiki in the Dead by Daylight community, you'll realize that it can be very, very, very harsh. Especially if you have any form of a marginalized identity, or you don't run certain builds, or you don't play the game the way that some people like, and people get somebody, I was on a podcast yesterday about Dead by Daylight, and the word passion, like I use the word like passionate, but like it skews into like toxicity. um and I was just like, hey, like, let's flip that on the other end, because we're here for a greater cause. So I think that's a really like, touching moment. Also, for our Pride event, that we were able to collaborate with another team. I was like, so we collaborated with String Queens, and I was
Yeah.
like, hey, dear, does this sound like a good idea? And she was like, oh my God, yeah, let's do it. So, being able to not only have it with just us, but like bringing other communities together to come to a common cause, which was a really amazing thing to do.
And for that event, it was for Trans Women of Color Collective, correct?
Collective. Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. That was fun to watch. I swear, every time I watch a lady or any other DVD creator play DVD, I just want to get better. And it influences me so much.
Yep.
And I'm like, how am I going to get better? And I asked my lady last time, I said, can I pay you for training on how to get better at DVD, please?
You don't have to pay me for that.
I I I I want to pay for your time. So, if anybody else wants, professional training on how to be the best killer on in the world,
Oh,
let's
that's
hit up
not
my
me.
lady. Let's make a Google form. Let's get some signups.
I love that.
But both of those events were incredible. And again, Milady, you hear it all the time, but I'm going to tell you again. You're things, and you
That
are
wasn't just me too.
you
That was a team of people.
yes,
That
but
was a whole team of people. If that
yeah,
was
you
just
created the
me, I would
team.
be on this
You c-
floor still.
correct. And you created the team though, and you gave them that community. And we are also grateful for that. And thank you for everything you do on a daily basis. We're so appreciative. And you're going to continue to do more and more. And I'm so ready to see what you got in store for the rest of the year.
World
Course,
domination.
world
No biggie.
domination. And I'm fine. I'm fine with that. Can I get a
Yeah.
t-shirt? World domination with MiladyConfetti. I want a shirt right now.
That sounds great.
But
I'm
yes,
in for that plan.
yeah, you created a community and it's amazing for supporting Black women because we only have each other.
Honestly, yeah.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, Libby with Team Kitty, thank you for using your platform as well to uplift. This is at the fog and New Orleans, everything. So
Yeah,
thank you,
I
thank
love
you.
I love that about Team Kitty. Like
Yeah.
it's, one thing I think about when it comes to teams, especially when their focus is on, women, femmes, non-binary folks, that we can't have each other. And I'm a huge proponent of, I mean, you can watch my team Alice rant if you really want to know how I feel about Alice, but I touch on this point a lot when it comes to just, when we talk about feminism, when we talk about, feminism versus black feminism versus womanism, and how a lot of things, a lot of areas of like feminism are exclusive or like feel leave out a lot of marginalized people. So when you see Team Kitty approach things like when it comes to intersectionality, that really matters, and not just in the things that you say or that you put on Twitter. Please delete that app. But it shows in your actions, and that's one thing that drew me to Team Kitty, because I'm not gonna just kiki in a space just because it's a team for women. What does that mean, and what are you showing me, and what are the actions that you're showing to prove that you're inclusive, just beyond the fact that we're all women? Because you can still be a woman, but like if you're a white woman, you have privilege in a space in a way that I don't. And
Mhm.
often that can be scary for people who hold marginalized identities when it comes to race. How are you when it comes to LGBTQIA plus inclusion? Are you including the entire spectrum, or are you just focusing on, one aspect of that? So when I was applying to Team Kitty, when I did apply a while ago,
Long time ago. Stop.
um but that was one thing that I was looking at. And I saw that not just through the actions, but also things like working with the 1000 Dreams Fund. Like, so it all was like a whole, I have a method to my madness with who I choose to share my space with.
Well, thank you for that. I think we could always do better, and that's something I try to focus on as a team lead every day, really. But every time we kind of evaluate what are we doing is how can we do better, and everybody misses the mark sometimes. But I
Yeah.
appreciate that. It's something that we are committed to, and I that that means a lot. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, Libby. Bless you.
I'm also just very warm. There's a little light going on. But yes, no, it's
Let me say
very,
that
very
so
kind
matter
of
of
you.
fact. I am warm.
I'm a
Same
I'm
though.
a pale girl who's very warm. And I'm sorry.
But no, I
Like,
do know that means a lot to Libby because we've had so many discussions in private about these how to better, you know, Team Kitty and all those aspects. But you're doing great and keep it up. And of course, you can always do better. And we're always going to grow more and more. So you're doing great.
mhm,
And
thanks.
that question can also go to you because Team Kitty has done
Favorite
so many campaigns. Yeah, your favorite
favorite
moments.
moment?
Fun,
I
yeah.
I I'm ready. I have a great one.
Oh,
It's one of the things that I remember watching this stream and being like, this is why we do this. Okay, so a little bit of backstory. It was Play Live in, there's probably Team Kitty members in the chat who can correct me. I want to say it was 2018. Who knows? All the years blend together, all the streams blend together. But we had our, yeah, it was 2018. We had all our streamers doing campaigns, and it was the last day, which for St. Jude Play Live, everyone like it's that last day up to that midnight mark. How far can we push it? Where are we on the leaderboards? Right? Like, what can we do? And everyone's kind of streaming for the last time. And Sarah, she was Ceremony, now she's Sarah Luna on our team. Was fundraising, and she hit her goal, whatever her bar was, she filled it. And she had this moment on stream where she's like, yeah, I could bump my bar. Heck it. And she went and she grabbed all of her other teammates' Tiltify links, and she started putting them in chat. And she said, this is my teammate Kara. She can't stream right now. I can't remember. For some reason, Kara had to leave. I want to say it was like a family emergency, right? And was like super bummed, couldn't finish her streams. And was like, this is my teammate Kara's bar now. Here's the link that you go to. Let's fill this. And it was like two or three people kind of like in waterfall of like, her bar's done. Done. All right, next person. Her bar's done. Let's go. And it was so cool. And then Kara was the last one, and she was away from stream, and she was so upset that she couldn't continue. So she FaceTimed her on stream and was like, "Hey, I want to show you something. Look at your Tiltify bar. We filled it for you. Like, we did it." And I
Stop.
was crying. Our community council was crying. Like, I'm gonna cry now. It was all like she was crying. The chat was crying. Like, it was just one of those things where
Oh
like
my God.
I remember
this is why
this.
we do it as a team. It was just this cascade of like, I've reached my goal, but now my teammate's gonna reach hers, and she's gonna reach hers. And it was just this beautiful, like, sure, you could bump your own bar. That would be awesome too. It's all the same total, right? But
Yeah.
to then kind of take that, that's like if I had one story that was like the core of Team Kitty, it's that. It's like, all right, I got what I need. You're coming with me. Let's all go. Right? I always compare it to that Twitter gif of like the women where like one reaches down and then she boosts the one up, and that like it's that. We try to be that. And that was one of those days where I was just like, yeah, this is the right, this is it. This is why we do team campaigns, because
I
we're all
remember
doing it
that.
together. It was a good time.
I
Not you
remember
trying
I'm
to
still
make
that.
me,
looking for our
not you
clips.
trying to make me cry in my Fenty.
Oh my gosh,
It
I
was a good
remember
time.
that. Once you were going to the store, I said, "Wait a minute, I remember that," and I was like, "Oh my god, that's so sweet."
It was a
Oh,
cool moment, and
yes.
that's like the center of like team fundraising for me is like, hey, we're all doing this together. Let's go. Let's make this amazing. And
Yeah.
it was a cool moment.
I think we all had that moment. This is
Mm-hmm.
this is the core and love and a passion from giving back all the time. That is so, and we love Sarah. Sarah, you are amazing.
Sarah's awesome.
You're not here, but we love you, Sarah, and thank you for being you.
We'll get it clipped.
Yes, let's clip it. And let's dive into a really good question I wanted to address. So, if a new stream team leader wants to start their first fundraiser, what advice would you give them? We can start with Milady.
Um, as a team fundraiser, I
Yeah.
cannot stress more than anything teamwork. Like I honestly just don't do it alone. Um, I think when it comes to like, even if it's just like you and another person, like it's you like who wants to do the thing, and then like there's another person that exists who also wants to do the thing with you, do it together. I speak a lot in we's and not I's because one, I like to take attention away from myself because like there are so many talented people on Sisters of the Fog. I'm just like, ignore me. Like, look at the talent that we have. Like, look at Lainey, who's in chat, Diehard Diva, like Dynamic Reacts. Look at Dark Mimi, like Tiffany Witcher, like who is an amazing person who's doing so much in the charities sphere. I would definitely say work as a team, you know, create your goals, have solid communication on things that you want to do. I'm very like in the execution type of mode. So I'm just like, okay, like, how are we going to do this? What are we going to do? What do we need? How do you think? Like, that's like me. And then like, there's somebody like Lainey who's like extremely like detail oriented. So, you know, who is going to do, you know, what do you call that? The artwork for the overlays. You know, who's going to do something like that? Who's going to do the run of show? Who's going to flames in chat, lady? You know, Diehard Diva and Dynamics, they are you know, YouTube partners. They are really good at churning out content when it comes to clips, when it comes to VODs, when it comes to, you know, getting things out. Mimi is a genius at social media and is very like quippy and like fast to react. So, you know, we have somebody, you know, who's great like that. Tiffany Witcher knows every single person for every single charity ever. So, you know, having her knowledge base on just all the things that, you know, have access to, but also, you know, also challenging us to think about charity in different aspects that even like sometimes I don't even think out, or sometimes, you know, I'll be like, oh wait, I never even considered that. Thank you for bringing that up. So when it comes to like a team campaign, no campaign, whether that's like, you know, charity, whether that's political, whether that's creating, you know, doing, you know, a protest, whether that it's never just a one person show. And it doesn't have to be, and don't stress yourself out about that. I would say have a team of people and, you know, definitely work together. draw off each other's strengths and make up for, people where, they may fall short and get it done. Because the work never stops.
Yeah, don't be afraid to ask for help. Because when I was a team leader previously, I was afraid to ask for help and I crammed everything on my own, and I regret that. Ask for help. Ask your members for help. Okay, there's going to be somebody that wants to help you. They'll feel inspired to do all these things together. So ask for help.
Absolutely.
Number one, don't do it alone. It's a
Yeah.
team for a reason.
For sure.
And that's
And
awesome.
even my leadership team had to remind
Yeah.
me of that so many times. I remember, I think it was Lainey and Diva and Tiff who dragged me, because I've known Tiff for like a couple of years. So like when I need to be snatched, like Tiff knows how to snatch me by my edges. And like they pulled me into call. I was like, stop. We got this. You're doing too much.
As we say,
Pull
the
back.
Team Kitty Community Council is admitting to the same thing in chat. That's like, Libby, we're here. Tell us, give us the things to do.
Stop.
But yeah, that's so accurate.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to bring in other creator friends to help, or, help out
Yeah.
your team members to get started too. That's what I did. I brought in another creator to just have like a quick little discussion, like, hey, this is how you do this. Boom, 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 down to the T.
Mhm.
We had a small little presentation. It helped and it influenced them. And I love fundraising.
Yeah.
So fun. And Libby, we're going to throw that question to you too.
Sure. My best advice is, I guess, the piece of that helps with making sure that everybody can take care of what they need to take care of in Milady's layout of like making sure people do things, is keeping things organized. So I like to, when we know we're coming up on a team campaign, even though the assets might exist somewhere, right? Here's the team campaign link. Here's a logo. Here's the colors. Like, here's the stuff that I went and I found it. Here you go, teammates. It's just pinned in Discord. It's right there for you. I've done that legwork so that it's available to you. I'm a little extra, and I make a spreadsheet for every campaign with exactly who's doing it and like their socials, the right links, what their stream schedule is, that kind of stuff, so that I can keep an eye on it. I also do that because when we have things sponsored, you have to show them the metrics and blah blah blah. But like,
Yeah.
I'm a spreadsheet nerd. So I love keeping things organized, but not only for yourself or your kind of team, your leadership, your council, but also for any of the fundraisers. This year, we opened our Play Live team. Well, we've done this many years, but this year we opened our Play Live team to anyone. You don't have to be on Team Kitty to fundraise with us ever. That's just true of all our charity campaigns. If you just like Team Kitty, you can hang with us and you can fundraise with us. But our team Discord has always been for the team. And I was like, how do we solve this problem? I just made a separate Discord. That's the Team Kitty charity community. And if you're not a team member, or if you are and you want to hang out with them, but for the folks who weren't team members, we just had a resources page, all the sort of Tiltify tutorials, everything about the causes we raise for every month. So we're still developing that, but just having that stuff kind of available for the people who are going to fundraise with you to kind of pick off the menu and say, I want to put this on my stream. I want to make sure I'm setting up my campaign correctly, is super helpful. Just having that ready, because otherwise, what I found from experience is if you don't do that, you get 10 questions a day from 15 different people that are like, where's this logo? How do I make a campaign? Right. So being able to kind of front load that and just say, it's in that channel. It's in the pins. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Is super nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Definitely.
separate Discord was brilliant. That definitely brought so many of my community members over too to Team Kitty, and they really enjoyed, being with us and fundraising. So good job. Good job. Keep that up. Every campaign. Every campaign.
Out of my sheer laziness, not wanting to DM people separately. So I was like,
Yeah.
here's the Discord.
Yeah, it's way better. Just have it all in one pool. That's so much
But it's
easier.
worked out really well. It's become a cute little place, and it's I need to start opening it up more and like linking it outside of just people who sign up on Tiltify. But it's a nice little place to hang out. Work in progress. Work in progress.
And I just had one last question for you ladies. So with using Tiltify and of course team fundraising, are there any specific features that you thought that we could add to our platform to be more helpful for organizing team events at all? And we can start with Libby.
Ooh, I have to think about this.
If you don't have any, totally fine.
I don't. That means you're doing everything on the platform exactly perfect, right?
Everything's perfect. I'm
Everything's
like,
wonderful. Thank
look,
you,
I just put in
Tiltify.
chat. I said, "Lady, help."
I think the only thing that, and it's my fault probably for having the Team Kitty team as on my account and not as its own, is like I'd love to be able to
Yeah.
do a bunch of different embeds or a bunch of different calendars, so that maybe like the members of a team could say, here's like, if I'm okay, it's a team campaign, right? And there's 10 supportings. If supporting member number 1 has their stream schedule input into Tiltify, so it shows up on that bottom right side, can that show up on the team page and say like, here's when everybody on the team is going to go live, here's that kind of stuff.
Ooh.
Very, very niche feature as well that very rarely applies, so probably bottom of the list. um, if a team
That's a good
is
idea.
doing I don't think this is like, I think this is a fundamental change to how the Tiltify API works, so don't make changes for me. But if I could do a team giveaway that shows up as a like a reward on a team members campaign, because what I did once, we had any donation above X dollars is entered into this big giveaway across any Team Kitty campaign, and then I have to download every single CSV and like search for all the
That,
donations that are that amount,
yeah.
versus like, hey, here's all the people that donated to your team above this amount, to anybody's there, which is interesting and fun, but it's very specific and probably not relevant to most
No,
teams. But
that's
No,
if I
honestly
could
like
have the
very
world,
helpful though. That's
that's
that'd be it.
super helpful.
yeah.
We're
Because
taking
especially
notes.
because especially like when when I'm thinking of like Stream Queens and Sisters of the Fog, there were a lot of people who were like on that campaign, and there were a lot of things that we were giving away. There's a lot of stream schedules to try and keep track of. Everybody's incentives weren't the same, so like that makes a lot of sense, and also it makes tracking a lot easier.
Mhm,
A lot easier.
for sure.
We're listening. Promise.
Thanks.
Thank you. And Malay, did you have any other features you wanted to touch on? Possibly we can add, or did Libby nail it down pretty much?
Pretty much. I'm more so like on the user friendly ends, because I know the I don't know what it's called because I don't technology, but I know the interface has pretty much changed. There's a fly in here and it's driving me wild. Has changed from like the old setup. And I know, like,
Yeah.
being a creature of habit, like you're so used to that, but I
Mhm.
still think that there are more tweaks that can happen that can make things more user friendly and also easier to find. I just think I don't know. Sometimes like there's like little minor things that'll just like frustrate me, or just like, oh, where can I, you know, update the amount, the total amount here, or what the team has done, and also individually, and can I check that like post stream after I've closed everything down, for metric purposes, because
Mhm.
sometimes people want to check in with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like little things like that could be helpful, because I'm really trying to like learn the new thing, because I'm not trying to like cling on to the past, but like
Yeah.
sometimes like when updates happen, sometimes small like user friendly things can fall through. So that's one thing that I think.
Yeah, and I know we are working on inviting creators before we launch those things. So we're definitely working on that so we have that feedback before we push it out. I think that's really important. So definitely work in progress, everybody, everyone that's listening. Um,
Thanks,
and
Tiltify
we
team. You're the best.
we're working hard. We're working hard. And that feedback is so important because what is Tiltify? You're the people that use it. And you have to have a good experience on our platform. You
Yeah.
good. And that's my job. Make sure you have a good experience, okay? So thank you so
Killing it.
much for that. And we we had a question in chat. Favorite cookie, everybody.
Sugar cookies.
Uh,
Snickerdoodles.
uh-oh. Oh, this is really specific. The white chocolate ones from Subway.
Oh my, the raspberry ones, they're
Yeah,
so good.
stop. Don't make,
No, they're
I
so
thought you were making
good.
fun of me. I was like,
No,
damn.
they're
My
so
my
good.
college meal plan was Subway was on my college meal plan. Like that was like a swipe, was you could get like whatever you wanted at the Subway, which was great for 2 months. And now I can't walk into a Subway because of how it smells, and it reminds me of like
Oh,
being
Mhm.
18 and like eating nothing but Subway for 2 months. So, but the cookies slap. So,
Yes, they do. And we'll do another one. What's your favorite charity moment in one of your own campaigns? Start with Milady, if you want to touch on that.
From my own campaign. Um, well, I mean, this was cool. It was Juneteenth, and we're raising money for the Advancement Project, which does a lot of work, pretty much helping like the youth, particularly in California. They do have a nationwide one, but their headquarters is in California, with having resources for education and just overall like community growth. Got a huge donation from Twitch. I was like, oh, okay. Like we had reached the goal for $1,000. I was like, okay, dope. Okay, let's keep playing Dead by Daylight. And they came in at the weirdest moment, because we were like clowning around about like something that's very specific to Black culture, and like that's when they chose to do that. I was like, yo, wait a minute. everybody everybody wait. Get it together. Twitch is here. That was really really cool, and able to raise $6,000 for the Advancement Project for Juneteenth was just really really cool.
One stream. Incredible. Thank you, Twitch. We love
Thanks,
you.
Twitch.
Thank you. And then we can throw that question to you, Libby.
favorite. I feel like they're all just kind of wild and fun. I'll pick on a recent one. I may every time I make a bet that's like we're never gonna reach this. Like you don't joke with Twitch chat, right? Because chat went okay.
Bet.
Yeah, bet. Like, so I recently did the Jenna Marbles disco ball face that she did like a million years ago. She put like I did that
Yeah.
with googly eyes. Because I was like, if we hit this stream, um it'll I'll do it. And I was just like, I just want to do it, I think it'd be funny, but like we're gonna put a gate behind that, we're gonna raise the money. And my community was like, okay, and it was raised like 5 minutes later. The chat is currently I forgot about this. I work at Cloud Imperium Games. We make Star Citizen and Squadron 42. This year for Play Live, my boss showed up in chat and said, because I do temporary tattoos as an incentive, and this year I accidentally bought really big ones. Like, hold on, let me go in my charity drawer real quick.
Charity drawer.
Like really big
Oh.
ones, right?
Oh.
Huge. And um, I said, okay, that'll be like a different incentive amount. And my boss comes in chat and throws a gauntlet. He goes, hey, everybody, just so you know, I work with Libby, like I'm her director. If you raise whatever it was, like $5,000, if we hit the $5,000 mark tonight, she has to wear all those at work tomorrow. And I'll make sure she has a call with with our CMO. I will make sure she has a call with senior leadership and she has to wear all the tattoos.
Mm-mm.
So the next day, we did it, of course. So the next day, I'm covered in these. I took them all off and I put them back on. We bargained for that. I didn't have to keep like these awful sticky temp tattoos on, but I had to put them all back, like recreate the scene. And I joined my first meeting of the day, and everyone's like, my camera's not on. And uh, one of the community managers on our team goes, hey, Libby, what happened to your camera? You doing okay? Like they were all so every meeting someone pressured me to turn it. It was like, anybody have any about the meetings would be like, anybody have any questions about like this event, this thing? And so I'm like, I have a question for Libby specifically. What's it like to be Post Malone? Like, and just all day it was like specific questions about my tattoos instead of what we were doing for work.
Oh my
It was
goodness.
good. It was I forgot about that one, honestly. I was gonna
Do
go with my
you
silly googly
do
eyes,
you
but that's
have a
it.
picture of you and your tattoos?
I think I'll try to find it on Twitter and I'll post it in
Yes.
chat.
Yeah, post in chat or just
Search my
repost
own
it. I
tweets
need to
by
see it.
Post Malone because I think that's the only time I've ever typed the words Post Malone on my own Twitter. I'll find it.
And yeah, and I don't want to take too much of these ladies' time, but we have two more quick questions. Any fundraising goals that you like to accomplish before the end of the year? And start
Hmm.
with Libby.
Okay. Um Mine I think would be I always find it really interesting to check back on my campaigns, and like I'll download my CSV, I'll break it down, you know, what was the most popular incentive, you know, how much do we make each stream on average? Like I nerd out about that. I'm a spreadsheet nerd. Um, but I also love seeing kind of the combined total. I would love to hit $50,000 total raised on my profile this year. I'm at 40 and some change right now, so it's kind of lofty, but like I'm trying. That's mine. I have 4 more campaigns planned. One in September for, like I said, this is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month in September, and I've gotten the patient family support nonprofit that from my dad's hospital. My late father is a pediatric oncologist. I got the patient family support network that he was on the board of. I'm gonna cry. I'm sorry. They made
Oh.
this really cool video about him when he passed away. Anyway, I got them on Tiltify, so I'm going to be racing for them all of September, and I'm so excited. And they don't understand it at all. I think they're like, oh, she wants to like do an internet thing. So I really hope we can blow it up for them. That's my big goal.
Yeah.
Sorry for chopping onions in our stream here.
You're just coming for my Fenty. It's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Don't waste. No, I'm sorry.
That's so sweet. My ultimate life goal is to be a psychologist. So I just,
Can I tell you, my mom's watched your stream and has been like, Dad would love her. And it's the cutest thing in the world. This is for a different time, but my mom watches your stream. We both, I love the moms in chat system that's happened. So we got all the moms in chat, and my mom is big on watching my friends, which is great.
I
She's got a
love
little
your
Twitch
mom.
account. She chills.
Aw.
She's gonna be on my channel at some point because we unlocked what's called the roast of Askesienne. So she
Yes.
gets to lead my roast as the host. So that's gonna be fun. I'm so afraid. I'm gonna hold the mic hotkey in my hand just in case she gets a little too mean.
Switch the topic, thank you, because I was gonna
We've
cut
got
up here. Oh my goodness. And I don't have any more tissues anywhere.
We just go back and
That
forth.
is so
We're roller coaster today.
amazing, Libby. Oh,
we're gonna do our best.
Go, Milady, go. It's your turn.
What's your goal?
Okay.
Let's go.
I would like to see Sisters of the Fog reach 25K raise for charities. I know we have some events that are coming up for the remainder of the year. Nothing I can talk about just yet, but yeah, I'm just really, really excited. And I think that it's like every campaign that we do, we really outperform ourselves. And even though it's not like necessarily like with charity, it could be in production, it could be in collaborations, it could be in people we get to help partner with us to help with giveaways and stuff like that. So I really want to see that. And I just want to keep supporting, by extension, the Black community and those who are in need in some type of way. I just want to keep trailblazing that and keep pushing for that. Yeah, that's something that I want to accomplish. For me personally, I mean, I'm always going to be raising money for charity. I would like by the end of the year, I think it's not necessarily a fundraising goal, but it's to get the charity that I'm speaking at. I really want them to come on to Tiltify. It's called the Hero Campaign, which is a organization that was founded after the 2 founders lost their son to a drunk driver. So it's taking the Hero Pledge, which is very well known in South Jersey. But taking the Hero Pledge is taking a stance of, especially with things like with Uber and Lyft, to not drive intoxicated because, yeah, who passed away, his name is John. He passed away at 17, 18 years old. 100% preventable. So that's one thing I also like to accomplish before the end of the year.
That's amazing. I hope we get them all signed up soon. That'll be amazing to support.
Yeah.
Thank you, Milady. Both of you are absolutely incredible people that I'm so happy to work with. And please, everyone, we have a Control Plus extension. If you hover over our stream, you will be able to follow Sisters of the Fog Twitch channel, and Team Kitty TV, and Milady and Libby as well. So make sure you do take the time to hit that follow button and keep up with their content. Support them. And
Sorry, we're just laughing here because Milady said my part of New Jersey doesn't exist.
That is such a Jersey thing. Like, if you want to talk, if you want to spark a debate with a New Jersey person, please question whether Central Jersey exists or not.
It does.
It does not.
And I guess I'm just magical.
oh my
I'm a
goodness.
figment
I
of
didn't know about
everyone's
this.
imagination. Yeah. So some people believe there is a
localized.
north and a south, and incorrectly. And some people believe that there is a north and a south and a middle, which is accurate.
That is incorrect. Because honestly, if you look to the second star to the right and straight onto morning, maybe you'll find what you're speaking about. But it's actually not true, and there's reason
I take
why.
that as a compliment.
Me too, Kelly. Stairs in California.
You're outroing us so nicely, and we're just cracking up to each other. Sorry, you were doing so great. We just
You're
crash
fine.
landed it all over the place.
You can't bring us nowhere.
That's why you're both
Hi,
here.
Tiltify.
That's why you're both
Thanks,
here.
Tiltify.
Thank you. Oh
Y'all
my
are-
gosh.
Y'all are just something else.
Jersey
That's
girls,
why you brought us on.
Jersey
here.
girls,
This
we're
is-
built a little different. We built different.
And even if we disagree on the geography, we agree that Jersey girls are built different.
100%.
I agree too. I can back that. But again, make sure you follow these creators and support their amazing teams and their communities. And thank know it is a late Friday evening, so please enjoy the rest of your night and the rest of your weekend. And chat, I hope you learned some fun things today, and I hope you enjoyed the chat. And I'm just honored, really, to be in your spaces and support you and uplift you. Thank you for allowing me to do that. I'm very grateful. And thank you for Chris from Tiltify staff for modding the chat. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you. And we are going to close out. So, Libby, where can we find you on social media? And, pronounce your name again, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
because you need it, right?
Askesienne.
Yeah. Nope. Close,
That's what I
very
say.
close, though.
That's literally what I say.
It works.
That's what I say.
You've got most of the sounds right. There's just an S in the middle. Askesienne.
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 Yep.
I always say Askesienne. Where does that come from?
Whatever.
I don't know.
I'll answer it. It'll sound vaguely like what I'm listening for, so I'll answer to it. No,
Yes.
My name's Libby. Online I go by Askesienne, but Libby's fine too. Twitch, I can say hi in the chat. I'm just Askesienne. On Twitter, I'm Libby K. And I think that's all my links are there in bios and all that kind of stuff. But I'm very grateful to have been able to come on the show and talk about team stuff and share some laughs with awesome people that I respect
Jersey
and admire
stuff.
the hell out of. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you, Libby. And Milady, where can we find you, my dear?
You can find me at MiladyConfetti on all those forms of social media all around. That's
Brandy.
YouTube, that is Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all of the things. If you want to follow me specifically, or if you want to follow Sisters of the Fog specifically, we are Sisters of the Fog on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube, and we also have our own website, sistersofthefog.com, where you can find all of the team, not just team leadership, but you can also find the team members who and all the content that they do and all the branding and stuff that they have, because I'm not sure if everybody has consistent branding. But yeah, that's pretty much where you can find me. I stream 3 times a week. My stream schedule is changing next week, so I can't really say what days I'm going to be live anymore, but I will be live 3 times a week once I figure it out. But yeah, that's pretty much where you can find me and all the things that I'm doing.
Perfect. Thank you so much, both of you. And chat, have a good rest of your weekend. Thank you so much for tuning in. And again, we do have the extension, so you can just click follow on that extension to keep up with them, okay? Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And again, I am Ashley, Tiltify's community manager, and we are checking out. Bye.
Bye.